Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and I have a candle haul here and a book haul. So I'm going to start with some of the shopping bags that I pick up at Winners, Marshalls, Homesense, and they had this beautiful fall scene. I just love the colors of the fall. And they also had a winter scene, the black and white winter scene, the bare trees. And then they had the dark red handle. I thought that really looked nice with the black and white scenery. So I just love those bags that you can pick up in those stores. So I'll start with the candles. I'll actually start with this tea light accessory, little tea light holder that I purchased at Homesense. I think I saw them at Marshalls also. They had ones that had just the one tea light. They had other ones that had 3 tea lights. I bought the one with the 2 tea lights. And this will look just absolutely beautiful in the dark. It has a mirror in the back here, so the light can reflect off that. And this kind of light won't do it much justice, but I think in the dark it would just look absolutely beautiful. And they had about 3 or 4 different designs on this frame part. And yeah, I just thought it was beautiful. And I picked up this DW candle, and this is Juniper Thyme, and I do love juniper scents. Juniper is such a clean, fresh, kind of evergreen scent. And you also get an herbal scent in there mixed with the fresh, clean juniper scent. It smells really, really good. And I did pick up a warm tobacco pipe. I did purchase this in a 3-wick tumbler, and this one's a 2-wick. Now, as I said before in my other haul, this one's just basically smells like an old English library in an old manor. I can smell the pipe, I can smell the wood, I can smell leather, I can smell old books, I can smell wool sweaters. It's just a really nice scent. And this one's a little bit out of season. This is Caribbean Breeze. I just love the color of the jar. It's a beautiful blue. Now, when I picked this up, I thought it'd be more like a salty ocean air brisk kind of smell, but it's actually just a very soft floral. I mean, there's a hint of that saltiness, but it's mostly just a very soft, pretty floral. It really does actually smell quite nice. And so that's it for the candles. I also picked up this little deer in, I think that was Homesense or Winners or whatever. Yeah, Homesense. And anything with deers and antlers, I just really, really like. So book-wise, they I went to a couple of thrift stores, and I went to Indigo and Costco for these books. And I got the new Dan Brown book, Origins. I love his books. Just that, the history, following all the clues and everything like that is it's just my kind of book. So that's the new Origins one. And also in Costco was this book called Lie to Me. So it's basically this idyllic couple. Everything's perfect, seems perfect with them, and then she disappears, and then he's implicated as a suspect. And anyway, probably lots of twists and turns in this one. And then at Goodwill, I found this hardback for, I think it ended up being $5 or something. The Music of the Spheres. And this takes place in 1795 in London and France. Are at war. Yeah, they're at war, and this fellow looks for the spies, and he's also trying to solve his 15-year-old daughter's murder, and he comes across this very secret society, and yeah, it sounds very intriguing. I just love history, so sounds like a good one. And then in Indigo, they had these $6 books, but if you buy 3, it's 3 for $10, so just over $3 each. And this is by a Swedish author. He's gotten quite a few good reviews on this. It's sort of similar to the Rosie Project. This guy is kind of eccentric and odd, and he doesn't get along well with his office mates. And anyway, it sounded quite good, actually. This is the Sparrow Sisters, and it takes place on the New England seaside town. And one of the, I guess there's the Sparrow Sisters. They, the one anyhow has is like a healer, and something, she gives some tincture and potion or something to this one person, and tragedy follows. So it's kind of like a modern day witch hunt. So it follows these sisters. This is the Resurrectionist. This one I think kind of goes back and forth from the past to the future. So this doctor at this university is he's on probation for drug abuse, and then they end up on the university campus finding the bones or remains of African American slaves, and they kind of go back to the 18th century where this one slave, he's actually very good surgical skills, so during the day he's a member of the surgical team, and then at night he's trying to procure bodies for medical study, etc. And this one's the Stopped Heart, and this is another one that takes place in the present, but it kind of goes back and forth to the past. And yeah, it takes place 150 years ago in Suffolk, England, and then the present day. So it's kind of going back and forth, and it's kind of a grieving couple seeks refuge at a country cottage, but the cottage has its own history of tragedy, etc. So yeah, that takes place in England, and which I like. I just like those murder mystery kind of supernatural ones that take place in England. This one's called Rustication, and this fellow, he's got a lot of problems with the law and that sort of thing, and then he's implicated in this this crime. He's trying to clear himself, and this one also takes place. There's a little bit of a theme going here. This one takes place in the 1860s. And then these ones I got, these three books I got at Bibles for Missions, which is a thrift store here in Ontario. I'm not sure if it's in other provinces, but I know it's in Ontario here. Now, I find some of the books in Goodwill, they still can be, for a used book, can be a little bit, prices can be a little bit high. But at this Bibles for Missions, the books, even the hardbacks, are like maybe $3 or $4, and the paperbacks are like $2 or $3. So yeah, it's a little bit better deal, I find, than Goodwill. And this is called The Alchemist. This is just $2. And this Spanish boy decides to travel to Egypt in search of the treasure buried in the pyramids. Along the way, he meets a gypsy woman, a man who calls himself king, and an alchemist, and all their kind of adventures there. And this one's gotten quite rave reviews. This one's called Enclave, and the world's in chaos, war, plague, global ecological collapse. For parents who are rich and powerful enough, they send their children to this academy run by a mysterious man, and it's set in a former monastery, and surprisingly the students are hardly the best and brightest, and the staff isn't much better, and basically it's Lord of the Flies. The one critic says it's kind of like Lord of the Flies there, and it takes place in a monastery. So, and then I got Gone Girl, and I haven't seen the movie. All I know is this man's wife disappears, and he's a suspect, and all the twists and turns and everything. That's all I know about it. So I thought I would read the book. I usually find books better than the movie version. I don't know. there's just something about reading a book and picturing things in your own mind. You get a better idea of what the characters are thinking in the book rather than the movie and that. So I gotta say, I probably do prefer books over the movie versions and that. So that's it. Yeah, I got so many books. They're like collecting dust, but you know what? They're not going anywhere, and eventually I'm going to get to them. And when they're at a good price, I'm not going to turn them down. So I'll just put them away, and when I'm ready to read them, I'll dust them off and be ready to go. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed.